Afternoon, let's make some coffee and chat about something a little more on the serious side today. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably have already seen that I did test positive for celiac disease, which is an immune reaction to consuming gluten. But I wanted to make a video because I had so many questions and so many people who were like, I might have this. Can you tell me what you're going through? And what I want to say is if you feel like you may have celiacs or some sort of gluten intolerance or anything at all, I would really encourage you to go and talk to a professional because I am not one. The big question a lot of people had was, are you going to be okay? And the answer is yes. Now, I was really lucky in finding out pretty early. So celiacs is hereditary, but they said something environmental can cause it to start, I guess, because it can start anytime in your life. Some people have celiacs their entire life and it can go undetected and they never really have any symptoms from it. I ate bread my entire life growing up. I never had any issues, but for the past 2 or 3, I guess about 3 full years now, I've been having a lot of severe issues. Because I did catch it in time, everything that I have dealt with is reversible and can completely clear up if I just completely avoid gluten basically for the rest of my life. Some of my symptoms have been throughout the last few years. I've had just really bad digestion, and then I've also had random foods all of a sudden give me like allergic reactions, but then I can eat them later on. Another thing is my mental health. So I've always struggled with mental health, but it did get a lot worse the past few years. Gluten can actually suppress your serotonin levels and increase your cortisol levels. Serotonin meaning happiness, cortisol equaling stress. So eating gluten in anyone actually can make you feel less happy and more stressed. So if you are sensitive to gluten or you have something even more severe like celiacs, the more it's gonna suppress your serotonin, the more it's going to release your cortisol, leading to more anxiety and feelings of depression. And I have been diagnosed with anxiety and depression. And after I told my therapist about this, she is even saying that we need to wait a few months and then go in for a re-diagnosis because it could possibly clear up. That makes me tear up. I also did develop an autoimmune response or syndrome called Sjogren's, which is basically severe dry mouth and dry eyes. And that's something I've struggled with for a few years as well. I went to a few eye doctors and they did all these tests and they checked me for a few other like degeneration diseases for my eyes because my eyes have been so dry. So that will clear up over time. I also have had thrush, like oral thrush. Brain fog has been a big thing. I go through a lot of periods where I just can't think as much as I used to. I'm not as creative. I'm not as clear. I can't really think clearly without a cup of coffee. So the short, simple answer to what do you do next is just cut out gluten. Now, I want to show you these photos, and I'm nervous to post them, but this is the last day I ate gluten versus 1 day of not eating gluten. Not even a full 24 hours, like 12 hours of not consuming gluten. Look at the difference in the swelling in my face. Okay, so really what I've been doing is going through my pantry and looking at everything I have and figuring out if it's gluten-free. For the reason I didn't have coffee yet until now is because what I usually drink, I usually get the coconut almond creamer from Trader Joe's. It's not gluten-free, so I can't have it. And then sometimes I'll do milk and these Torani syrups. Most of the Torani syrups are gluten-free. Which two are not? The s'mores that I have, the sugar-free caramel that I have. So I went to Whole Foods and I always see people talk about the nut pods. These are delicious. They are creamy and wonderful. I have to try the hazelnut next. I had a few DMs today saying those, that's great. Because I like the coconut cream almond milk from Trader Joe's, I am trying the Califia coconut cream almond milk because it is gluten-free, so I can have this one. Now, I do think going out to eat is gonna be the toughest part. I found a website called glutenfreefollowme.com. You type in where you're located or where you're gonna be, how much of a gluten-free menu you need. Like, are you just gluten sensitive? Are you like completely gluten intolerant? Do you have celiacs? Anything like that, and it will list all the restaurants near you that you can eat at. So because of that, Noah and I were able to find some really good gluten-free pizza last night, and it was delicious. Couldn't tell a difference. It did cost a little more though, just a little bit. Went from like, my $5.99 Domino's to $14 for a medium, but it's fine. Not gonna complain. People literally cut out gluten because they want to. And let's not complain about that. I saw someone say, I was watching some gluten-free videos, and someone commented and was like, as someone who has celiacs, I don't understand why you would cut out gluten if you don't have to. It makes no sense. We should be grateful. I'm just starting this. I'm not acting like I'm a know-it-all, but we should be kind of grateful, because when something becomes trendy, more people make it. The more people want to try gluten-free just for health reasons, just like people go dairy-free for health reasons versus people who are lactose intolerant. The more people that go gluten-free just because they want to, the more companies that are going to make gluten-free alternatives. So I like to see it as a blessing. I like to see it as a way to find other food options, more restaurants to open up, things like that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you want to see more updates on this whole gluten-free lifestyle, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.